Overspeeding, impatience, and careless driving are precursors to road crashes. Periodically, the Federal Road Safety Corps carries out awareness campaigns urging motorists to obey traffic rules and regulations and ensure that vehicles are roadworthy before setting out on a journey. Road crashes are avoidable, and here in the FCT, the message for all drivers and road users remain three key points: safety, safety, safety. That is the essence of this week's edition of our program, Saturday Discourse, where we shall assess efforts by the Federal Road Safety Corps on prevention of road crashes. I am Abdullah Hajia. Thank you for joining us. Do stay. We'll be right back. Let's begin with the stories now. 4 persons have been rescued alive by search and rescue operation at the venue of the collapsed 2-story building along Tutu area in Kubwa, Federal Capital Territory. Correspondent Onutu Yakubu, who monitored the situation, brings us details.
It was about 6 in the morning when some of the occupants began hearing sounds of the building walls cracking. Eyewitness accounts say, while they rushed to evacuate the 2-story building, the west wing eventually caved in, trapping 4 of the residents in the rubble.
The only thing I know that is about 36 rooms, but I don't really know the actual people because some people are couples, some people are single, or maybe visitors, so I can't really tell how many.
But before now, there have been any signs that business like that? Yeah.
I've not even noticed any sign. It was just like I've not even noticed any sign. The building are going to collapse.
Search and rescue operation began immediately at the site following distress calls. About 5 hours later, this 4th victim of the building collapse was successfully rescued alive by emergency workers.
So far, we have been able to rescue 4 people alive. 2 people are in the hospital, others we are on hot. Well, the rescue operation is still ongoing. We are not going to call off these rescue operations unless the part of the building that has collapsed, unless we get to the bottom of it.
The construction companies or individuals that are constructing buildings, most of the times they don't follow the rules. So the development control need to step up their game in monitoring the construction activities going on. That's the only advice we have to give.
Although there is no report of any further victim trapped in the building, the earth-moving equipments are still digging through the rubble with intent to get to ground zero and ascertain the situation before the operation can be called off. The 2-story collapsed building was said to have initially been erected as a hotel before undergoing remodeling twice, first for a hospital and now a 35-rooms residential apartment. In Abuja, Onutu Yakubu, NTA News.
Away from that, Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has enjoined Muslims and Islamic clerics to continue to render support and prayers for the President Tinubu-led administration as it weathers through the storm to improve the lots of Nigerians. The Vice President, through his representative, made the call during the foundation laying of Nasfat Gudu Mosque, Abuja. Yours truly reports.
Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Office of the Vice President, Dr. Aliyu Modibo, performed the symbolic foundation laying of the Nasfat Gudu Mosque. Representative of the Vice President at the occasion joined other speakers to emphasize the need to work for Allah while committing leaders and the country into prayers in order to succeed.
All the campaign of calumny that this is not, succeeding, it is succeeding. Continuously pray for him, and inshallah, this country will be great and greater in the near future.
We're on the right course. Some difficult decisions have been made, but we need to continue to pray to Almighty Allah to enable Mr. President to fulfill his vision for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And I would pray that this project succeeds.
We urge our people to support this noble cause.
NASFAT Missioner Worldwide, Sheikh Abdulaziz Onike, whose focus of lecture and Jumat sermon was on charity and generosity, reminds all of this rewarding venture.
I let them understand that it is whatever they spend in the cause of Allah that they have put forward. Every other thing that they have left behind belongs to somebody else.
Whoever that contributes on the way of Allah is indirectly contributing for his hereafter.
The mosque, as explained, when completed, is expected to serve as an excellent sanctuary for Muslims and the Gudu community. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Towards enhancing learning in public schools, the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, embarked on distribution of furniture to some selected public schools in the FCT. Deborah Gazaj Jamaica reports that the AMAC Supervisory Councillor, Education, Obiora Arinze, says the intervention program is targeted at 6 schools.
The goodwill kick-started at Jorin-Bisa Community LEA Primary School, where 70 chairs were presented. The intervention project, tagged AMAC Project 2023, was championed by the Supervisory Councillor Education. He stresses that he has a working boss who is proud of education and will always ensure the well-being of schools in his area council. He adds that it is the chairman's desire that every community in the 12 political wards is impacted positively by the Mekalangus administration.
I know I have a boss that does not relent in what he's doing, and I know by God's grace, since we've heard this, we'll come back for them again. If you go around the school, you will see that we've done some renovations here before. This is not the first time we're attending to this school. We've done something here before. If you look at this block behind us, there are new ceilings. You go into the classrooms are renovated. So this is just an addition.
Having known that UB has the sole responsibility to build schools and equip them, we are doing it as an intervention project. As council, our duty is to ensure that we pay teachers' salary.
Pupils in some schools, including Jorin-Bisa, sit on the floor during classes due to non-availability of chairs, and the teachers observe that this is unpalatable.
We don't have seats, we don't have anything. But today, we have chair. That is the blessing from the chairman.
EA Nomadic Primary School was also benefited from the government largesse. Head teacher of the school, Comrade Saidu Musa Karishi, reveals that his school received 75 chairs as he commends the initiative.
We have to thank Almighty Allah and also so much appreciate him for touching the life of our peoples.
At another benefiting school, LEA Primary School, Dakibu, where teachers are inadequate, the school head teacher appeals to the area council to provide security.
Please, if you people can help us, especially teachers and security.
The intervention project is expected to go around all LEA Primary School under the Abuja Municipal Area Council. In Abuja, Deborah Gazaj Jamaica, NTA News.
Let's now focus attention on safety on our roads. Following non-adherence to road traffic regulations by some motorists, the Federal Road Safety Corps has devised a means to checkmate road traffic offenders by arresting and instantly charging them to mobile courts. FCT Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Chori Mutar, who stated this while addressing journalists in Abuja, said the Corps has commenced the exercise in some major highways in the FCT. Odiriogboru Arutere reports.
FRSC FCT Sector Commander Shori Munta recently, while meeting with stakeholders from the National Union of Road Transport Workers, representative of DRTS among others, harped on the new directive to try road traffic offenders instantly with the mobile court, adding that the introduction of mobile courts will serve as deterrent to motorists who engage in overloading, dangerous driving, and non-compliance to traffic rules and regulations.
Recent developments on our roads reveal some of the challenges confronting the safe use of highways, which the Corps has stepped up to confront on all fronts. The Corps introduced some key safety initiatives to tackle this menace. One of these is the result-oriented efforts that have been directed towards effective collaboration with Nigerian Bar Association and state judiciaries. This is for timely prosecution of drivers and vehicle owners caught contravening established traffic regulations.
Shori Monta equally reiterated readiness of the Federal Road Safety Corps towards making Nigerian roads free of crashes.
Report which automatically set the tone for our discussion here with my guest. He is one man that has always talked safety on a daily basis, on hourly basis, and today we're fortunate to have him join us on the program. Help me welcome Chori Buta, Sector Commander FCT of the FRSC. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much. Good evening, viewers.
Okay, well, you talk safety every time. We see you try to lead your men in the FCT to talk safety. And safety and enforcing regulations or traffic regulations has always been what you advocate in the FCT. How far with such enforcement as far as the FCT is concerned?
Well, you know, the enforcement of traffic rules and regulations in the FCT is continuous. We, especially in the recent Salah Special Patrol, we actually increased our presence on the road. We also brought out all the equipment we have, and thank God for the new Corps Marshal. There are some new equipment that have been injected into our operations. For instance, we have a laser gun, which we can now use to detect somebody's speed from a distance. And it tells you the speed of the vehicle in question, real life, real time. This is very important because speed in itself thrills, but it kills. It kills because if you are involved in a road traffic crash on a higher speed, the tendency for fatalities is higher than when you are going at a controlled speed. That is why we always talk about the control of speed, you know, to the motoring public in the FCT, especially now that the roads are getting better with the new minister. We can see a lot of commissioning of new roads, and a lot of other roads are opening up. But there's need for us to also take a lot of precaution in the way we drive, even on these roads, because the higher the speed, the higher the fatalities, because the impact is higher. And so we are always appealing to the Nigerian, especially FCT residents, to take it easy as they move from one point to another on the good roads that we are beginning to see.
Okay, now that you mentioned the new roads, I was even coming to that, but you've already talked about it. Now, what about the signs or signages that we're supposed to have on this road to guide, motorists, at different locations?
Yes, these roads are still under construction, and they are not yet fully furnished. So I'm sure after some time, these roads will be fully. What I mean by furnishing is putting all of the road signs, to be able to guide the motoring public. But I've seen a lot of road markings, on most of the roads that have been constructed. So that actually gives us the guide for us to drive and drive safely also on these roads. It is one thing to have good roads. It is another thing for people to control themselves on those good roads. We've seen instances where, because we have good roads in certain parts of the country, and a lot of people have found those roads to racetracks. And fatalities, involving this kind of speed is never palatable. Just about 2 days ago, specifically I think on Thursday, I remember clearly, we woke up to a sad news, along Abuja road, these vehicles, commercial vehicles, normally that they travel at night. And so early in the morning, around 4, a vehicle, a driver that left Lagos, I was heading towards the northern part of the country. And because he was sleeping, he was tired, certainly, around 4 o'clock, he ran into another trailer, because he was actually sleeping. Because by the time our investigators went, there was no skid mark. There was no attempt to even stop the vehicle. 3 people died in that crash, and it was really painful for me because I had to even go to Abuja to go and have a look at the situation and to also go along with our crash investigators. So we appeal, to our motoring public, especially people who love to travel at night. Traveling at night is not always the best thing, especially in this part of the world, because you discover that when a crash happens, help hardly comes because we don't operate at night, except when we get distress call. We have ambulances stationed all over the place, But if nobody is there to call at that point in time, it becomes difficult for us to even know that a crash has happened. So we appeal for people to avoid it. If we can avoid night travel, do avoid it. It's not a law that you shouldn't travel, but it's just an appeal we're making.
Okay, well, let's quickly look at the issue of a driver's license. What we gathered is that there seems to be a backlog of, applicants, seeking to get this driver's license. So how are you dealing with the backlog of these applications?
Well, we are in the news lately. The new commercial, Chief Mohammed, MNI, as soon as he reported, the first thing he did was to take a tour of driver license centers, especially around the FCT, to ascertain the problem and then to see how we can be able to deal with it. Just in a space of 1 week, if we are following the news, about 73,000 driver licenses, were produced, all in a bid to ensure that we cover the backlog, that has been accumulated. For every system, there are always challenges, and so when we meet these challenges, the right thing to do is to face them frontally and try to deal with them. And so the new commercial is up on its game, and I'm very sure in the shortest possible time, all of those challenges will be over.
Okay, well, let's look at the issue of some of the civil practice by some of your men. Sometimes you see in the events of trying to impound vehicles or arrest, drivers, you see them going beyond limits. So how are you taking care of such situations?
Well, thank you so very much. I thought you were going to ask this question. We have had issues with some of our men, the way they behave, and I can tell you that the FRSC, as a system, does not condone indiscipline. There's a standard operating procedure in the way arrests of traffic offenders is done. And so, but of course, in every system, you find bad eggs. But are we doing something about them? Yes, we are doing something about them. That is why we always encourage people to call us, tell us, okay, we have observed this, and then we try to deal with them as they come. We try to deal with them. Of course, you also know that it is becoming more difficult every day now to arrest errant offenders because I do not know why. Why somebody commits a traffic offense, they are asking the person to stop, the person is not stopping. The person is even driving at you straight. Just recently, I think yesterday also, one of our staff was run down. So it becoming the operational environment is becoming more difficult and tense every day. But we are not going to give up. We'll continue to do our best to ensure that at least this safety we talk about, is inculcated into the Nigerian market.
Okay, let's quickly look at the aspects of what the law allows you to do. That is using the mobile code to get offenders, pay for the violation of some of your regulations. How effective has the mobile code been?
Well, I can tell you that the frequency of mobile calls in the FCT has increased. We've been able to see the Chief Judge of FCT, and we appealed for increase in the number of magistrates that will handle these cases. And I can assure you that the number we have has been doubled. And so that means that we can actually organize this mobile court very frequently. In fact, it doesn't need to be an organized mobile court per se. We can take offenders now straight to the magistrate courts, as soon as we apprehend them, especially drivers that drive against traffic, especially people that use phone while driving. Those are offenses that have become so rampant, and we are trying as much as we can to deal with them. But we needed the cooperation of FCT residents to do this.
Okay, lastly, before we let you go, let's juxtapose this last question. The issue of duplication of your duties with the VIO, as we popularly call them. The average view out there is still not clear. You see road safety doing the same thing, VIO asking you of the same thing. And then what are some of the challenges, if you can join the two in some seconds?
And it's not a duplication of function per se. If you look at the functions of the vehicle inspection officer, specifically, FCT is a bit different from other states. FCT have what they call Director of Road Traffic Services. And what that means that they can combine the job of traffic management agency in addition to vehicle inspection officers. So this vehicle inspection officers in that Director of Road Traffic Services, that's what a lot of people don't understand. In other states, what obtains is that we have vehicle inspection officers separate from traffic management agencies, of those states. But in the FCT, they do both jobs. So I don't see any clash anywhere because, for instance, in the FCT, we've been very cordial, have had very cordial relationship with the vehicle inspection officers or Director of Road Traffic Services, especially with the director. I've always called him, we've always had operations together. So it's just people's perception. I don't think there's anything wrong in that because, of course, we cannot single-handedly deal with all of the problems. So FRSC as an agency have always encouraged traffic management agencies to come up. And so what we do at the end of the day is to ensure that we regulate the activities, being the lead agency in traffic management.
Thank you very much, Chori Mutaev, City Sector Commander FRSC, for your time talking to us on the program. We must thank you for enlightening us and also, putting right some of our perception out there about the road safety and safety matters.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate this.
All right, the program continues, but this is after this time out. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. Now, in recent years, experiences of flooding across states of the Federation and the FCT left many with bitter lessons, with relics still glaring. But have the people learned their lessons, especially with experts' mitigation and safety advice? Yours sincerely, in this special report, examines the issue.
It is the rainy season and the rains are getting more frequent and intense. Experts' predictions and precautionary measures are handy for the safety of lives and property at this time.
Once there is a heavy downpour, there will be flooding, especially in areas where we have human activities that are obstructing the free flow of water. People build on waterways. People dump refuse indiscriminately. People build without making adequate provision for the free flow of water. And when we advise them, we go out on sensitization. We tell them not to build on waterways. We tell them the repercussions.
The Federal Capital Territory, like some other parts of the country, is of course having its own share of flash floods. This development has come with its attendant challenges of damage to lives and property.
In view of the recalcitrant nature of the citizenry and the attitude of just not wanting to do the right thing, we get repeated occurrence of this development and again. So it's just a circle in itself. But the authority is not deterred. It will continue to ensure that it implements the Abuja Master Plan and maintain the sanctity of the plan to ensure that the plan and its vision for an aesthetically pleasing city for people to live, work, and recreate is restored.
All we are pleading with the residents of FCT, not just FCT, but Nigerians at large, that they should listen to our advices. They should adhere to the do's and don'ts. That is, before flooding, during flooding, and after flooding.
In this case, the Trademore Estate and other communities like Galadimawa and other adjoining areas recently experienced surge. Town planning professionals and emergency responders say such experience is not unconnected with lack of adherence to environmental and building regulations. With authorities still emphasizing prevention and proactive mitigation, the latest safety warnings are coming from the federal government, where it alerts 18 states and the FCT for probable flooding. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Talking a bit on sports, coach of Nigeria's under-18 women's handball team has invited 18 players ahead of the International Handball Federation Women Under-18 World Cup to be hosted by China from the 14th to 25th of August 2024. Meanwhile, Nigeria and Super Eagles midfielder Wilfred Ndidi is excited, having signed an extension of a 3-year deal with Leicester City. This is the more to tell you at this moment, and that brings us to the end of Saturday Discourse for this week. Do join us same time, same station next week when we come with another topical issue on the program. I am Abdullah Hajia. Good evening.